All right, with us from Gibson Southern today, head coach Nick Hart, along with Ben Butler and Mitch Spindler. We'll start with Coach Hart. Last year you go 9-3. A lot of firepower on the offensive side of the football. What improvements have you guys tried to make offensively this year, and just how good can that offense be?
Well, we have a lot of guys back from that group, and I think, as you kind of look at last year, we were really young, and the improvements we made from the first part of the season to where we got on the second part of the season, I thought was very, very good, and just trying to continue that growth. When you have a lot of guys back, it's the install and all that stuff that you go through in the summer is a lot easier and goes a lot quicker because all these guys have done it before, and there's not a lot of new pieces. So, I think we got a chance to be, really explosive and good on that side of the ball, and be a great. We don't have a ton of guys back on defense, so I think early in the year, the offense is going to have to carry us a little bit as we get the new pieces on defense ready to go.
Good guy to have a quarterback in sophomore Brady Allen, and he certainly gets a lot of attention, but seems to handle that attention very well.
Yeah, he does. He's very mature for, I guess he's 15 years old. He handles it really well. He's a really good leader, and we have a lot of good guys around him up front, and these guys sitting next to me that make his job a lot easier every Friday.
And we'll follow up with that with both Ben and Mitch. How exciting is it to play with a quarterback of that caliber, and has to make your life a lot easier too?
I mean, yeah, it's awesome. I mean, being able to see how many D1 level colleges come and see him and get him the exposure, and then also have the opportunity to have him look at me and look at Mitch and my teammates, and just being able to know that my quarterback's going to put the ball where I want it to be and make the right reads and just make the right calls and know what's going on.
Yeah, he's a really great guy, a great leader for our team. I know he's young and stuff, but he's just a great leader for us, and he's just a great all-around quarterback. And besides the athleticism he has, he's just a great guy to be around and stuff off the field. So I think building that relationship with him really helps get the team chemistry up.
And Coach, you look at the postseason, you've had some epic battles with Memorial in the postseason. Some things changed now. Just talk about kind of new sectional field for you.
Well, there's some new folks in the sectional. Not sure if Google Maps was down that day, HSA office or what, but we have some, and I personally like it. I think getting to play new people in the playoffs, and we've advanced out the sectional, and you get to go to Charlestown or play Brownstown or Chitar, whoever it may be, playing those new teams. I think is one of the great things in advancing in the tournament. So being able to get that in the sectional now, I think is great. But it's still I think a guy I coached with at Warren Central said he thinks the hardest thing in high school sports to do is win a football sectional, and I agree with that because you got to be there for 3 straight weeks. In a lot of the other sports, you can get hot for a weekend or something and win it, but you got to practice and play for 3 weeks in order to win the sectional championship. And there's obviously a lot of really good teams still in our sectional.
All right, we'll open up other questions from the media.
Coach, we haven't talked special teams. I know you're replacing your kicker, Williams. Mm-hmm. What is it looking like so far through the summertime, of course, as possible replacements?
We got a kid, Jake Novotny, that has played for Bryce when Bryce has had some injuries in the past. Jake will be a senior and does a great job. Bryce was a very valuable weapon for us and did a great job. I think Jake will continue that. We've been fortunate to have some really good kickers in my years here, so I think Jake will kind of continue that, and hopefully we can continue good special teams play.
Also on your schedule, new this year, Southport.
Yeah, it'll be a very challenging game for us. One thing we like to do or tried to do is, really schedule in our non-conference where we're able to, just ended the series with Henderson County. Now going up to play Southport, and I think, everybody knows, those Indy 6As. It's a different beast, and I think we're kind of, proud to be. I don't know if anybody else is playing at Indy 6A school, in our area. So we're excited for that challenge. We know it's going to be a really difficult challenge. I know they lost a lot, but those big 6A's just reload, and we'll have our hands full that day. But I think ultimately it'll be a great day and help get us better and better prepared for the playoffs.
All right, Coach, you mentioned a lot of the losses from your team are on the defensive side of the ball. What are you looking for out of the players that have to step up?
Well, I'm really pleased with our progress throughout the summer so far. I think we have very capable guys that have stepped up. It's just a matter of getting them, Friday night experience. I think one thing that is a little concerning for us right now is we got to continue to develop some depth in our front seven and also on the offensive line. Those guys, seem to get banged up throughout the course of the year because, they're in physical confrontations, on every play. And the way we like to two-platoon and play fast at the 3A level, that's always going to be a concern for us is continuing to build that depth so we don't have to play a lot of guys both ways. So, that's kind of one big thing that we got to continue to do here as we head in towards the season.
Ben and Mitch, I mean, you don't technically play the same position, but you guys get the ball a lot. Just how well do you work together and for this offense?
Me and Mitchell, we both can play running back. We both can play wide receiver. It helps out our whole offense with me going in the backfield and Mitchell coming to wide receiver and just having the versatile, just being able to go wherever we need to go, catch the ball, run the ball, block, and just, it helps out the whole offense. Like especially with Brady, him being able to rely on more than one person and just kind of can throw teams off at sometimes, and it just helps out.
It kind of helps having multiple weapons on the team, both two different positions, it kind of gives defenses a little harder to just game plan on one person where where they have to game plan on both and, make adjustments if something's not working. So, besides us two, I think our offense is, works very well. We got a lot of great receivers out there and stuff, and a lot of kids who can run the ball. So I think our offense will work great this year.
Nick, just what makes Brady such a special quarterback, and what does he need to do to improve to become a Big Ten caliber quarterback?
Well, I think the first thing that probably pops to people is his size, and I think that's one big step he made in the offseason. Even though he was 6'5" last year, I thought he looked like a freshman, and got knocked out of some ball games briefly from taking shots. He's really developed athletically, put on a lot of muscle this offseason, and continue to improve there. And then I think that the next big step is he's got a year under his belt now, and sometimes I forget that he's a sophomore when I'm coaching him. But I think for us to really take the next step, he can't, even though he is a sophomore, he can't make sophomore mistakes. Reading coverages and stuff like that, and he's done a great job of that this summer, and needs to continue to improve that as he goes along.
Mitch, I know you were injured in the off-season. How did that kind of impact you in terms of your off-season regimen? And if it did, do you feel like you're caught up to where you were last year before the injury?
I was out, with the shoulder and stuff, and the rehab process. I enjoyed it. My therapist, gave me all kinds of stuff to do, and I think it gave me an opportunity to work harder because I knew, I was down with it, and so I maybe had to work that much harder to get back where I am and, improve some.
Coach, you've emphasized that you have a lot of returning offensive weapons coming back. Just how comfortable are you guys with your offense and everybody returning?
I think very. It gives you the ability to kind of build off of what you've done, expand some things a little bit. With all the guys we have coming back, we're really only replacing a couple guys. Up front, Dawson Witt at receiver. So there's a lot of key pieces coming back. So I'm really happy with where we're at. Like I said, I want to, I'd like another offensive lineman to step up and make us 7 or 8 deep on the offensive line so we can, withstand some injuries and some boo-boos as we go through the season. But really happy with where we're at, and now we've kind of got the whole offense in, and now it's I think one thing fun about coaching high school football, when college guys and stuff can recruit people to their system and make it fit. I think all the guys in here would say, you kind of have your system, but you adapt it to who you have each and every year. I think that's one of the fun things about being a high school football coach. And now that we have the base stuff in, we can start getting creative about getting these guys in different positions and getting them the ball in different ways. As you scout for us every week, and we've got different ways to get these guys the ball as we go through the season.
All right, thanks to Gibson Southern.